Budget meeting to order for 2023 budget, and if we could all rise and pledge the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody tonight. Thank you all for coming. I have a motion to approve the agenda that we have for tonight.
I'll second the motion.
All in agreement?
Aye.
Okay, well, we really don't have any minutes. Public comment on the budget. We're going to start with the front, work our way back. Second row. Donna? Eric?
He's busy.
Can I just ask, I'm Sam Augustine, Director of Sales with Mascara. I came tonight to see if you were going to review the recycling bids, or was that not going to come up until the township meeting?
Well, action is not scheduled to be taken at the township or until the November township meeting. My understanding would be that we could not take action on it because it had not been previously advertised. There is slides in here about the recycling bid. If the board was so inclined, I could do those right away so that your time.
Well, whatever, I just wanted to bring it up to see if it was going to be discussed tonight. Then I'll wait, if you can do it, that will be fine. You can do that first.
Yeah, the whole idea of this is just to work on the budget.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else for comment? Yes.
I just had a question in reference to law enforcement from Northern Berks.
Your name and address.
Charles L. Voorhees. I understand from the last planning board meeting that they said that they hired 2 police officers. Is that correct?
I could clarify that. We put two additional police officers in the budget for 2023. They've not been hired.
They haven't been hired
No,
yet?
it's in the preliminary, just in the budget phase so far, which was adopted, and that process hasn't started yet as far as the hiring of 2 additional police officers.
Okay, on a question then, the 2 that you've hired, how do you figure out the hiring aspect of how many officers you need for Northern Berks? Is there an equation that you figure in per capita for people in the area, or is it just something that, do you figure in nutrition, like people that are retiring versus what you need to hire? Is that part of the equation?
Well, first of all, we have a police commission. So our commission consists of 1 representative and an alternate from each municipality.
Correct, yeah, I understand that.
Okay, so we had 13 officers, and during the potential breakup, a lot of them have left, and they've gone to other departments. We still have not brought ourselves back up to that limit.
Where are we at now then, as far as officers?
I think we're at 11.
Well, 12.
It's 12.
12.
11 and a chief.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're looking at doing is trying to get back up to where we should be and meet the criteria where we're not paying overtime and things like that. Although I must say our chief is doing a great job of moving things around so that he's meeting that need. But what's happening is there are some shifts that they're operating short, and we're trying to fill those needs. So what happens in the theory, we had a study done, and then we also have looked at previous call volume and things like that. So as we're growing and quite honestly, we're going to grow. We're a growing community. So is Ohlone, Leesport, not so much. But the more we grow, the more we need police.
So then you take that into consideration as far as overlooking, as I made a statement at the planning board commission, that my concern was, do you have adequate police? Do we need to add additional other than 2, especially since this whole thing going down there with this warehouse? So that is something that you look at the commission aspect.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, there's a There's a scientific resolve to it that we look at to decide what we need. But sometimes you also have to look at the financial aspects as well. Unfortunately, we don't have an unlimited pot of wealth, so.
No, I understand that. I
Yeah.
understand. My concern was, I've already talked to the business manager about this whole thing with these roundabouts.
Right,
Uh,
the traffic.
I've spoken to the police commissioner the last day or two, actually Friday, because right after that meeting that we had, I was almost taken out of Schaefer Road by two cars that felt that they didn't need to yield to these roundabouts. Now, I understand PennDOT pretty much showed this whole development down Maidencreek's throat. I got that.
Right,
My main concern, as I said to business manager, safety, safety, safety. Money, that's great,
right,
but still, the safety of these residents need to be addressed to a point where now, it's a speedway out there. They don't understand 40 mile an hour, 25 mile, or nothing. I'm not sure how we, as a municipality, can bring that to a safety level for our residents.
we have addressed it, and we've addressed it with PennDOT. We're at their mercy because it's their highway. Unfortunately, we couldn't stop them from putting the roundabouts in, and we're not gonna be able to change their minds on everything, but we were asking them for additional signage.
Yeah, I spoke to the business manager about it, we discussed it in some
Okay.
way, and I understand the whole thing. Put aside PennDOT, I'm concerned, municipality, how do we go about it? Him and I talked about putting, basically a digital sign out there to and from, okay? I understand cost, I got it, but is one life worth any aspect that we have to find money somehow in the municipality to make these people safe? Look, there's no
understand
no
what you're
magic
saying.
wand.
Nope.
I could
Right.
also add that Northern Berks has
They have
had a
been
number of
very-
officers that have parked their vehicles in the roundabout, right there in the circle itself, to
No,
monitor
I
traffic.
spoke, Heidi
Okay, so you're
spoke to
aware of
him,
that, yeah,
and
okay.
he's still limited at his resources, unfortunately, because of manpower.
Right, but they've done it, I mean, they
Yeah,
have,
they
they
have.
have stationed guys there.
But it doesn't seem to be effective to a point where people don't understand it. And unfortunately, I'm gonna go back some time. I remember when they put the traffic light at CVS, which wasn't CVS, and it cost a woman, I believe, and a child their life before they put the traffic light. My point is simple. Let's avoid it. Look, I said at the meeting, I've commercial, industrial all my life as an electrician. Safety has always been number one, no matter what, aside of money. So what I'm basically saying is, as a township, supervise the planning board, we need to really look hard at how we're gonna protect our residents of 222. I got the money thing, but somehow, some way, we have to find the money to slow these people down. Police department's at a thin thing as it is. All right, I don't know where, well, I know the answer, but it comes to this, money.
Well, it's a tough thing too with it being PennDOT, because I agree 100% with what you're saying there. However, if you want to put a sign up there, it has to go to PennDOT and be approved by PennDOT. If a PennDOT doesn't like it, they're not gonna push it through, and they're not gonna allow you to put it on their road, they'll just come take it down. And then if you do it again, they'll probably fine you for doing it. So that's where our hands are tied with, so we had a quite lengthy conversation with PennDOT, making these recommendations to them to add additional signage and, what can we do here? To the point where they're gonna talk to their folks about the speed sign anyway, right? So I don't know, that's still in the mix, I guess, we haven't heard anything, resolution on that as far as.
I talked to him at great length.
No, this is separate this is Harrisburg.
But that was one of the
No.
things that we
Okay.
discussed.
Yeah,
We had some discussion at quite length about where to go.
Yeah.
What can you do? What additional money can you possibly find in reserve to get this out of it? Because like I said, we shouldn't be waiting for the litigation.
No, I agree with you, but-
Where someone comes around, right? It seems to always be, same thing in the industry that I was in. Now, I'm retired, but they never waited for that aspect.
yeah, I go power plants.
They were always pro
Yep.
safety no matter what.
I think a lot of our problems, though, come from the fact that we're getting a lot of people coming in from New York and New Jersey, and they're used to their circles, and their circles are
New
entirely
Jersey's
different.
different, right? They,
Yeah.
that's a circle, this is a roundabout.
Roundabout,
Two
correct.
two different aspects, right?
Now, I'm just gonna tell you what happens with those signs, and I can tell you from previous experience. People put we use signs. I was a police officer.
No,
And
I
we
know
put
that.
signs up, and we ended up with people racing to see who could get the higher speeds
Between signs.
between signs. So I can tell you that it's got its good and its bad aspects. Some people will say, oh my goodness, I didn't realize. You know, the roundabouts were put in to keep traffic moving, and people in the roundabout have the right of way. Okay, we know that because we're driving them all the time. The people coming in from out of the area that aren't driving them all the time don't know that. And even the trucks, they don't know which lane they're supposed to be in.
And they're restricted to one lane now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, they're supposed to be riding up on the apron to go around, and there's still a race to see who can get around who. So, you know, as I know the chief said, he's putting people out there as he can, and, you know, again, with shortage, and it takes roughly 3 to 6 months to hire. So it's a process.
Well, I understand that, and I understand a lot of people aren't going into the business either.
Right,
Alright, and you and I both know why, everyone here knows
Yep.
why. Alright, but still, I'm going back to my initial point. Let's try to avert this prior to a situation. I mean, they've had numerous, I almost got took out by 2 cars a day after coming out of Schaefer. I was in the circle, they could have cared less. They blew right by me, the one almost clipped me, and then they're looking at me as I'm in the wrong. Wow. I only have so much tolerance for ignorance and stupidity. But that's basically what I'm here for. How, as a township, can we move forward, try to avert this again? As I talked to the business manager, yeah, you can start ticketing, fine, stuff like that, but how much do you put out there and ticket, and really, do you make money from ticketing? No. A lot of times if they show up in court, it costs you money.
right.
I'm impressed with a lot of things.
And we don't look at that, though. We look at the fact that you have the enforcement, but they can't be there 24/7. That's the problem.
Yeah, if you're down men, you can't do that either.
No,
That's what I'm saying, maybe there's a way the township can find a way to even bring in additional police officers strictly to run 222, all day long. You know, that's his job, make it safety, because I believe that just seeing police presence there, it will
I'll agree with you on that.
mindset,
Yeah.
you know. But anyway, thank you, I
We-
appreciate it.
We have done something though, so it's
No, I'm
not
not
falling
saying
on
you
deaf
haven't.
ears.
I'm not saying that at all.
Yep,
I don't feel that in any shape, form, or matter. I'm here because, as I said, I'm concerned, I've lived here for a long time. Look, I came from New York 29 years ago, like I said at the other meeting, to come to a less of an aggravated area. Alright, now, that's besides the point in many ways, but,
Now all your old neighbors are moving to town.
yeah,
well, my relatives have called me, asked me to move to town, I said, no, thank you, you stay in New York. You stayed here 29 years ago, I'm not helping you get out. But anyway, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
okay, so, I guess you're up.
So, I have a PowerPoint presentation. Like I kind of said earlier, got some stomach stuff going on, so I might be a little bit slower to speak. I am not contagious. So if it sounds a little bit weird, like you know why. Let me just start here.
Do we have anybody on the?
No. But I should probably keep it open because
Yes.
anybody can join at any time. Like the Zoom is set up so that anybody can join at any time is what I meant.
Automatically, so they don't get your permission to get in, right?
Well, they'll be in a waiting room.
But you'll watch for them.
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
pop up as a notification. Is the board okay with me skipping to the recycling just to start?
Sure.
This is the most janky setup for skipping ahead in slides.
It's account 426.
This is not
Don't
fair.
move.
I'm not,
Stop.
Very careful.
all right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm just going to escape from the presentation mode, and if you're having trouble seeing it.
Doesn't the button go on the keyboard?
Well, that's what I was trying to do, and it's
Up,
not,
down.
it's not working.
Page
Oh.
up, page up, page down. They should.
Page up, page down. Nope.
Control lock, did you check it? Lock that part of the numeric lock.
Try that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Tab. I'm doing it right, I swear.
There it goes.
All right. I'm gonna just turn the mouse off. Are you kidding
Flip
me?
that, yeah.
There, all right,
IT guy here.
yeah,
Fix it.
pretty pitiful. Okay, so you wouldn't be able to see the whole view here, but basically what I've done is tried to break out the total cost of the deficit and where those expenses are being driven from. One of the large ones, pretty much the second largest one, is recycling. When we opened bids a couple of weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago now, the lowest bid was more than double what we had been using in the previous year. So it went from about 133,000 to, it's up here, 290,000. A couple of reasons for this: increasing costs in the industry, especially from a lack of purchases from China, and I'm sure you can probably speak to this after I'm done and maybe clarify some things if I go off the rails at all, but increases in the cost for actually getting rid of recycling because of China, not buying recycling from United States companies, trying to find alternative markets, those markets being farther away and less accessible than the Chinese market, so it costs more to ship. Some of the fuel costs, which are also part of reusing recyclable products, related to oil and different products along those lines, as well as the inability to effectively recruit in a very challenging labor market, both CDL drivers and then as well non-CDL drivers. So those costs kind of compounded together in the last couple of years, especially since 2019, to create this situation where a lot of municipalities are seeing this type of increase. That increase is more than double in a number of places. I have a few listed up here, and I sent the board information about Amity Township as well. That's more than tripled. This would add about $160,000 to the deficit, and that's kind of what I wanted to cover for recycling this evening. I don't know if the board's open to the guests kind of sharing some more details from the industry's perspective.
Thank you. Again, Sam Augustine from Mascaro. I actually attended, not Shillington, but I attended Amity's meeting. I was at Ryan Missing's meeting most recently. And there was another community. This is the fourth, Maidencreek. I wasn't at Shillington, I was at Amity and Ryan Missing. They've all bid recycling, they've all seen huge increases. And as your manager pointed out, a lot of it has to do that the market has fallen, not only in China, but because of the coming recession. There is going to be a recession. There's less, I'm sure you've seen that because of the housing recession, the price of wood has dropped severely in the past few months. It was escalating, but now it's dropped severely. And the same things happens with recyclables. But also, as you know, without CDL drivers, our CDL drivers have gotten 60 to 80% increases in the last 3 or 4 years because you just can't find labor. And with the once in a century pandemic, it's turned the economy upside down. I do want to point out, though, that if you look back over time, and we've serviced Maidencreek a few times in the last 20 years, if you look back over time, you've had very consistent pricing probably between the years 2010 and 2020. So over that time, there's been a very steady choose from, but now the industry is just, it's not just recycling, it's trash, it's everything. If you break it down to a per cost pickup, you're getting a little over 2 pickups a month. It's 2.16 pickups a month because there's 52 weeks in a year. It's about $3.50 to pick up a home. So when you look at it, it's not even, I mean, it's a cup of coffee. It's just a little more, it's 2 cups of coffee. That's what it costs. So I know that this is just the work session. A lot of times at a work session, they do recommend to the council, or to the supervisors rather, what steps to take. So I wanted to be here tonight to present this, and also if you have any questions, I would ask them. Your price actually at $89 a unit, Shillington's was $86 for every other week, and that's a little tighter community than yours. And Amity was once a week, and they were 117, and Wyomissing was once a week, and they were 139. Your price includes not only the collection, but the processing of the materials. And as you know, Mascaro has a facility in nearby Birdsboro, and it's very, very efficient, the facility. So we're bidding from a position of strength, and what you do have too is you have a 5-year contract. In the first, it's CPI related after the first year, but you do have a 5-year guaranteed contract, so prices can't go higher than that they can't go higher than the CPI over the 5 years. So again, with that, I'll answer any questions you have.
I have a question about the recycling materials that you collect.
Yeah.
I understand, of course, the market's kind of falling on that. Where is the material going now?
Well,
Did you
material,
collect, like the glass and the plastics and all?
well, all the materials have to be recycled. In other words, you can't dispose of them. I mean, the cost of trying to get rid of recyclables now is much higher than even trash. All the materials are sold to either U.S. or international markets. It's not just China. I mean, there's a lot of, the tin, the plastics, they still have value. It's just the plastics are light. I mean, the plastics only make up 4 or 5% of the recyclables. Most of the recyclables, you rely on the cardboard and the paper, and that gets shipped in the United States. Some of it goes to China. However, paper now is a negative. Generally, paper, always stayed positive. Now it's a negative, and cardboard has sunk drastically. Cardboard at one time was over $200 a ton. Now it's probably in the $80 area. And it has to, in single stream, it has to be processed through the machinery like any other recyclable. It's not like you're taking all cardboard. You have to send it through, and it costs over $100 to run it through the machine per ton. So the only thing that the glass, we have a permit from the DEP to utilize the glass as cover material. You can use it like a dirt-like material, so it's used as cover material at the landfill. So instead of using virgin or soil, you use the cullet or whatever from the glass, the fines from the glass. So that's the only material that goes across the street. But nobody is more efficient than we are, because our plant, I don't know if any of you have ever visited it, but it's the most up-to-date plant probably on the East Coast that handles the material. So I hope your service has been satisfactory, and we'd like nothing more than to continue to service the township.
I had a question about the plastic. Where's the plastic go?
Well, the plastics, for instance, we pick up DAK in DAK. They were actually bought out by a Mexican firm. We pick up DAK Carbon Light. It's in Muhlenberg Township, and what they do is they take reprocessed resin and turn it in. They take the resin and turn it into plastic bottles. And and we ship them, you know, all kind of resins, so it's just a continuous process. So a lot of the plastics just stay right in the United States. Tin stays in the United States. A lot of it's used in the United States. But the Chinese market is so big, and I don't even believe the Chinese right now. They say the economy is doing, you know, its economy's growing, but I don't think that the Chinese economy is growing right now. So, but last year the prices did go up, but now they've fallen again, and precipitously, quickly.
Oh, yeah, I think, as you mentioned with the housing market having fallen quite a bit,
Yeah.
we are in a recession. I think there's
Yes,
no doubt about
it's-
that.
it's-
And it's worldwide, it's not
Yes,
just here.
right.
And I think the Chinese are also. They
Yes.
just don't, being communists, they don't tell you everything.
Yes, 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 absolutely.
What was the percentage, like, did the percentages completely flip-flop then? So like, were you sending 60% of the plastics to China before all this was going on? And now you're only sending like 20?
Yeah, I don't know specifically. I know China,
No, it was ballpark.
China is relies more on paper, cardboard. I think the plastics you want to keep closer to home because of weight. You know, you bale it, but you just want to keep it closer to home because of weight. The bales of plastic generally weigh a lot less than the bale of cardboard and paper. But you know, the plastic, there's a heavy recyclable use with plastics and aluminum.
I was just
Aluminum.
curious, because if the processing fee overseas is, you know, is cheaper than is here in stateside, if we are sending the same amount of volume that we were, like global, you know, nationally,
Yeah.
if that number pretty much stayed in the States,
Yeah.
that means our processing fee is triple, quadruple, whatever their processing fee would be,
Yeah.
because otherwise why would there be such an imbalance?
Yeah, well, recyclables, Mascara did not get into the recycling market until 2016, and we had a vast amount. I mean, we service more homes in eastern Pennsylvania than anybody. We had a vast amount of recyclables, but we always felt that the markets were too unsteady to make a $25 million investment. But we finally had, you know, we were paying some other plants, and finally we decided this is, you know, we have to absorb this investment. So we invested $25 million in this plant, but the market in recyclables has always been unsteady. You saw that with steel. I mean, steel now, and it still has a value, but steel costs went through the roof. We're paying more, and that's one of the reasons that your costs went up so much. We're paying more for trucks than we've ever paid, and steel costs for containers is through the roof. I mean, it's through the roof, so.
That's, I guess, that's what's shocking, is that, you know, going from maybe I don't know, maybe even a 50% increase,
Yeah.
you're going to 221,
Yeah.
that's just,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a hard pill to swallow.
yeah. So,
I had another question too, based on the recycling materials, knowing that they have varied dramatically over the years. I mean, I worked for a company years ago, and we saw that when we were trying to recycle like cores, like, you know,
Yes.
paper-related things like that. And a couple years can go by, things are great, and all of a sudden the market drops out. I
Yes.
mean, do you store some of this material in the meantime?
we have storage facilities right near the landfill. The landfill and the recycling market, as you know, are the recycling plant are adjacent. That's what makes it so efficient, our plant. We own buildings, a lot of buildings we own in Birdsboro, where we store, especially cardboard and paper. Okay, but you really should only store it for so long. And then we ship a lot of cardboard and paper to, did you work at United Core Stacks?
No, I worked for a large operating company at the time.
Yeah, United Core Stacks, which is now DMS, I think it's called. They use a lot of recyclables, and they make the liner inside cardboard, right in Reading. So,
Where do you see the economy and the market going with regard to recycling? I
you mean
see
in
the
terms of
trends?
your cost?
Yeah,
Well, I think that's why I say I have never seen deflation, I just have never seen it, okay? I mean, I was an economics major way back when. I've never seen deflation. We're going through a bad spell here with inflation. I would think that inflation's gonna slow down, it has to slow down. I don't think prices are gonna go backwards, but I certainly think prices will level out. And again, I think in your contract, you're built for a 5-year term, but 2 of the years, I think 3 of the years are option years. So you can, after 2 years, determine whether you could rebid or take the option years. But again, I don't see deflation. I've never seen that. But again, between 2010 and 2020, you check your prices, and I'll probably go through that. You check your prices, and your prices remained about the same. I mean, your price is at $37. Think about it. For $37, you were getting 26 pickups. That was like a dollar, you know, $1.35 or $1.40. That was very low. It was very low. So.
And you see being able to keep up with the need and meet our requirements as not being a problem?
No, no, we're fully, I mean, our company is 5A1 DMV rated. I mean, we have more trucks on the road than we've ever had. We've been more aggressive in the marketplace than even our national competitors. They are in such a position, if you can imagine, they are in such a position, our national competitors have backed off. They've backed off bidding because they can't find enough drivers. They just, for Mascara, 2020 and 2021, I never experienced anything like that in business. Never experienced anything like that. It was just, and we had to work every day. We were working every day, you know, to maintain your workforce. I mean, it was, we raised wages 3 times in 1 year, and you know, it never happened. I mean, it never happened in the past. So you know what it's like. I don't know what business you guys are in, but you know what it's like out there.
I mean, there's no doubt we've been in challenging economic times,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know, it seems like this is more like Jimmy Carter all over again from 1976, but hopefully,
Yeah.
It all depends what
You're
happens.
not that old. I don't think you can go back to Jimmy Carter. I can. But it is like Jimmy Carter.
Well, I mean, we have
At
unprecedented.
least we're not
fuel
waiting
costs.
in gas lines. They
Well,
let
no.
the price fluctuate.
But you did see that the diesel supplies are at only,
Well, I didn't even mention that. Diesel,
like 25 days supply.
it's,
It's ridiculous
yeah,
in the
it's,
country,
yeah, it's.
and the prices are through the
Well,
roof.
diesel never was higher than gas until, I don't know, 15 years ago, and now it's like, I just come up and saw the sign, it said $6.12 for diesel and $3.97 for gas. I mean, come on, you know, so you know what we're trying to deal with, so.
I think I paid $6.30 the other day, $6.29.
Yeah.
So we're in a reasonable for
Diesel went up $1.
Do you see anything further happening in the
$4.69 to
recycling world that would
$5.69.
make it cheaper for us? Or maybe some trend that we could do to preserve our costs if we would?
We should build a recycling center right
Yeah. I don't, I'm not,
You know, that's aspect of it.
Could you speak to automatic recycling collection and what that might do to prices?
you mean the arm? The arm is, well, first thing I can tell you is this, it brings up another subject, is you have about 25 gallon recycling container. It's a good size one out here.
These right here.
Yeah, it's a good size recycling container, but in today's world, with Amazon and all the cardboard that's now being shipped, the recycling collection is not even, I mean, it's harder than it was 5 years ago before the pandemic, the recycling collection. But the arm the problem with the arm is you have a container out there. We don't use the arm trucks. We have a driver and a helper on the back of the truck. The arm trucks are much more expensive. We've used arm trucks, but not as, we haven't gone to it. It's a single guy. So when he's doing the collection, if there's anything on the side of the container or anything that people are trying to get rid of, more bulkier stuff, he can't get out of the truck and do it, okay? The collection you have with a guy on the back and the driver, they're going to pick all the recyclables up. And I don't think that with your vast increase in cost that you want to go to any lesser of a collection model to satisfy your customers. That's for sure. And I'm not sitting here going to tell you that if you went to an arm, could it save money? It might, but we've been pricing in the trash market, and the arm collection is very, very consistent with the collection costs using an extra helper on the truck. So
That answers some questions there.
okay.
We definitely appreciate your input.
Yeah. And then I'll be at the meeting of
February.
November.
November.
Yeah.
I guess it's March.
November.
All right.
Hands in the air. Hands in the air.
You're dreaming.
It's coming soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
November 10th at 7.
What's that?
November 10th at 7.
November 10th at 7.
Yep.
Okay. That's is that a Monday night or Wednesday night?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Oh, it's a Thursday night, November 10th. Let me ask one more question. Don't you have a user fee for your recycling? You put it right in your budget? Yeah. A lot of townships have user fees. And I know that obviously, no matter what people's costs are going up. But a lot of townships and boroughs have I think a .30 mils, they can't go higher than that. But a lot of townships just have a user fee and then send out the bill with the sewer and stuff, and then you don't have it in your general budget. So that's, I just thought I'd throw that out. All right? Good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Do you mind if we take a 5-minute break?
Mhm.
Go right ahead.
I don't know if Keith